The Mavericks started out 12-13. Luka got hurt. He missed 10 games. They were 17-18 when he returned. And since January 1st, they were 31-11. They are the third best in the NBA over that stretch. And they're now the 3 seed in the West, opening the door for the, you know who I don't want to play in the playoffs? Luka.
Yep.
This is it. This is happening. We're here.
We are absolutely here. I mean, he's just getting scarier and scarier from a game planning standpoint. And it is amazing as you're rattling off those sections of their season, their ability to tread water without him temporarily in the middle of the year now seems absolutely huge. Might be the difference between them getting knocked out in the first round with a tough matchup, or as you're saying, hitting some favorable playoff matchups along the way and making a pretty deep run here.
I would want to play Utah, right? If I'm them. Utah is the 6th seed. Utah blowing another 25-point lead to the Clippers.
What
Utah
are they doing?
With some Mitchell to the Knicks. Those rumors will start pretty much immediately when they're down 2-0 in the first round. Are they going to blow this up? And if you're Dallas, like, please let Denver and Golden State beat the crap out of each other. Let Memphis and Minnesota go 7 games. And let's just try to avoid Phoenix for as long as we possibly can if you're in the 3 spot. That would be the big thing for me with the 3.
Totally. And Utah makes all the sense in the world from a matchup standpoint, because if you have Luka Doncic on your team, your first question is like, who are the guards I can bully? Who's the team out there with a lot of 6 foot, 6'1", 6'2", that kind of height range? And Utah relies on those guys. Like they need them on the floor. And if you victimize Jordan Clarkson by running him in pick and rolls with Luka Doncic to the point that he can't play in a series anymore, I don't really know what the Jazz do in that circumstance.
Yeah, to me, that if that ends up where we land, I would. That just feels like that's a blow it up situation for Utah after that, because I think that series could go really wrong, and you could feel it in that Clipper game the other night when the Clips came back and it was like Groundhog Day, but it was a lot of the same stuff we usually see with the Jazz when, build up the lead and then they get spread out. And I think the team is way too slow. I thought that Celtics game when the Celtics, during the Time Lord era before he went down, they just demolished them. And they seem so much more athletic than them. And that's the thing. They just don't seem athletic to me. They seem, the more you watch them compared to some of these other teams, Utah seems gimmicky to me. Dallas is gimmicky in their own ways, but I feel like they're playoff positive gimmicks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, they're an interesting comparison point with Memphis, right? Because Memphis is this fast-breaking, forcing turnovers, offensive rebounding kind of team. All things where it's like, are these going to translate to a playoff series consistently? You have to at least ask the question. Dallas plays super slow. They grind out possessions. Their defense has slipped a little bit lately, but still is stout enough to last over a series. You don't really have to wonder about the translation with them. It's just, is Luka's step back going to be falling enough? Is Reggie Bullock going to hit enough corner threes in this game or that to swing a meaningful game? And they've shown that they can do that. By net rating, by all like the big picture indicators lately, the Mavs aren't great, but they just win these games. They just grind them out in ways that teams like Utah, unfortunately, riding a 5-game losing streak against playoff level opponents, they're just not making it happen for themselves right now.
And that's my fear with the Celtics. Now, we need to get them. Time Lord seems like he's going to come back in round 2. But the 2 times recently, and the Celtics have looked like, one of the best teams of all time in some of these games. And then you watch them play Dallas, that Sunday game, or you watch them play Miami yesterday, and the team slow them down. They start trying to trap Tatum, make him get rid of the ball. And the game gets a little ugly, a little disjointed. And that's Boston's Achilles heel right now. How are they going to match points when the game slows down like that? Dallas is like dying to do that. And honestly, Miami is too. I don't love the Miami scores the same way I like Dallas, but same kind of thing. Let's just get to the last 3 minutes. Phoenix is the best, not only this year, but they're in the running for all time. You saw it again yesterday with Golden State, a game they were dying to give to Golden State. And there's just like, all right, you want us to take it? They take it. But with Luka, so his breakout game, he had a 41-14-7 against Toronto, January 19th. Since then, He's basically 32, 10, and 9. He's a 48, 40, 73 guy percentage-wise. And with him, if he's at 40% from 3, I don't really know what to do with you at that point.
No. There's no answer.
If you're going to make 4 out of every 10 threes and get to the free throw line 9 times, and anytime I try to trap you, immediately you're getting somebody an open shot, I just don't know what the answer is.
And NBA players don't either. That's the reality. You can see kind of an interesting shift in the post-game commentary from the other teams the Mavericks are playing, where over the last couple of years, there's been a lot of, oh, he's so impressive, the way he sees the floor, these passes. There's kind of, a nod of recognition from other players. And that has shifted into, what are we supposed to do? There's no way to lock that down when he's both scoring and passing and facilitating in the way that he has been. I mean, if you just look at the first couple minutes of that game against the Lakers, he was just getting layups. He turned Dwight Howard around in the paint looking for the lob, and he's just getting uncontested layups. He's kicking out for wide open threes in so many of these games. He basically just completely dissected the Cavs in the game on Wednesday night. And so I don't know what the pick your poison answer is there, if he's just completely befuddling the guys who are supposed to be guarding him. But that's the reality of the situation you find yourself in. It makes the trap question that you raised with Tatum really interesting, because Tatum is a guy you trap in part because you want to see how he tries to solve it. Like you don't want to deal with him as a scorer. You just want to deal with him as a playmaker instead. There were possessions against the Cavs where Luka was just like, how far can I sling this behind the back pass to Dorian Finney-Smith for a wide open 3? And they were on the money every time. So I don't know what you're supposed to do if you want to try to trap that guy.
Yeah, there's 3 things going on. And this is why I'm glad we're leading the podcast with this. And I want to get our guy Charks to come on at some point to do the Luka, because I think he's not only the Luka expert at the Ringer, but probably in the world. There's 3 things I've noticed. 1, his fuck around ability, which is to me the last level with these perimeter guys. And you go like Bird and Magic had it, Jordan had it. Like Luka's doing games now like where he's getting bored. So like that thing he did with Moses Brown last night.
Yeah.
Where
just mean.
He pretends he's passing it around Moses Brown, but he didn't. And he gets Moses Brown to turn around and then he shoots. When you're at that level, that's sick. And there's only a handful of perimeter guys ever who get to the level. And that's kind of where he's treading, which leads me to point number 2. It's been Giannis, Jokic, and Embiid now all season. There's been some Ja. We've gotten some DeRozan. We've gotten some Tatum. And Luka showed up. He was overweight start of the year and then kind of pushed aside. And I who knows? I might be wrong. And who knows with the guys who weren't born here, they might not care anything about this stuff. But I do think he's like a competitive MFer. And there does seem like a little bit now of like, hey, I'm right here. I should be in these conversations with what's going on lately. So I wonder, is that going to happen? Then the third thing, just the narrative of like the great players of all time. And I've said this before in the pod, they make the finals before you think they're ready to make the finals, and he certainly has the talent at least to be like, wow, I guess Luka's going to be in the finals. I thought this was going to happen 2 years from now, but who knows? Phoenix to me is the big obstacle. I know Memphis, the Memphis thing I just don't get, but I do wonder if it's more of a regular season thing than a playoff thing. But anyway, with Luka, which one of those 3 points jumps out to you the most? The fuck around ability, the I'm being left out of the conversation piece, or the sometimes this is happens sooner than you think piece?
Well, I think the fuck around ability, which is just a fantastic word.
Thank you. And, I just made it up.
It ties into the third point really well too, because during these games, it can be easy to take for granted that he is just kind of messing around. He is just kind of toying with Moses Brown, and he still gets, I think he had 37 and 13 assists or something in that game. Just kind of playing at his own speed, taking his own pace. And that's against a Cavs team that, while shorthanded, has a lot to play for. Like the Mavs, they've run up against teams that are missing guys, but desperate teams. And Luka's just doing his thing, slinging through pick and rolls, no problem. He can do that. And he can mess with you and still put up huge numbers and still win. And the team is structured in a way now where it really suits him incredibly well in terms of the defensive support he gets. how small they're playing now and the spacing that puts on the floor. Just incredibly dangerous stuff. And I love the idea of him as a guy who could pop in the postseason and get to the finals earlier than expected, whether that's this season, whatever season that ends up being. Those things always, like, they just completely blindside you. And this, I have a hard time, we've talked about this, I have a hard time seeing how anyone beats Phoenix, which maybe makes it perfect for that kind of blindsiding surprise, whether it's him, whether it's Ja, whoever it is. If anyone's going to make that kind of leap, you have to do it against a Titan like the Suns, and you have to tear down a team that's that good to get there.